This Icon podcast is hosted and sponsored by Sphere Rocket Virtual Assistants, a leading provider for your virtual assistants and outsourcing needs. Owned by one of the top-ranking EXP agents, Justin Nelson. Sphere Rocket VA provides a one-stop virtual staffing solution for business owners, and we specialize in helping business owners grow their business by leveraging through virtual assistants. Trusted by the top names in the real estate industry like Kyle Whistle, Andrew Franklin, John Kitchens, and many more. Get ready to up your success and we'll help you achieve your business goals. Book your free consultation at sphererocketva.com and find out how we can make your life easier.
Welcome back to another episode of the Icon Podcast. I'm your host, Gianna, and special thank you to Sphere Rocket VA. I'm repping them today on this cold, rainy day in Nashville for making another episode of the Icon Podcast possible. It's so great getting to rub elbows with the best of the best in EXP. And today's guest is Shirlene. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm so glad to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me.
And we're excited to have you. And I guess the best way to get to know you is to start at the beginning, right? So who's Shirlene? Take us all the way back to the beginning. Where are you from? What market are you in now? And how did you find yourself in real estate? I know it's a loaded question. Don't freak out.
It's a long time. I've been doing this for a while. So I actually have kind of come full circle. I grew up in a small town in Ontario, Parry Sound. And after high school, I decided to get the heck out of Dodge and went into something a little bit off the wall. I worked with racehorses, which is has actually done me very well. The education I got there has done me very well because now my daughter rides. So I have some knowledge and I can help her with that. So
that's cool.
That was great. It took me around Canada and the US. Never went to Nashville, but have been around a lot of different states in the US racing. Yeah.
That is really cool. What a way to travel the world.
Yeah. And then I decided it was time to grow up. And at 26, I went back to school and became a massage therapist.
Okay.
And I loved that job, but I'm long, I'm tall and long, and my hands couldn't handle it. So that was in 95 that I graduated. So in 2001, I got my real estate license and moved back to Parry Sound, area that I knew, and have been trading there ever since 2001 to now. And so I was with 3 different brokerages. I did a year at 2 different brokerages wanting to get training, didn't get any training there. So the third brokerage I went to, I really enjoyed my colleagues there. So I stayed there for 17 years, I believe it was. It was a long time. And throughout my career, I really missed being a team. So I'm a basketball coach. I played team sports, and real estate was a very lonely career when you were a single agent. So I wanted to build a team, and the brokerage that I was at didn't want a team within their team. They didn't support that model, which is fine. They had a very strong model. So I looked for something else, and lo and behold, I heard about EXP 2 years before I came here. And I was first shown EXP World, and I thought, I don't know what that is. That was a little too far outside my comfort zone at the time. But then through my exploration, came back to it and realized when I dug into it that I actually got a little bit scared, to be honest, because I thought, oh my, there's like the other models aren't going to be able to keep up with this because it was so well thought out. So I ended up coming to EXP in January of 2020, right before the pandemic, which when that hit, I thought, oh my gosh, I'm not going to sell another piece of real estate. My whole career, it's over. What did I do? I moved at the worst time.
Wow.
Right? But it was actually the best move I could have made at that time, because while everybody else was pivoting, figuring out how to work virtually, It was just another day at the office for me. So I'm super thankful that I had the courage to move when I did. There's no perfect time. And we literally just went, okay, there's no perfect time. Today's the day. And we handed in our letter of resignation, and the rest is history.
And that's awesome. So, when you first heard of EXP, you're like, oh, this is ahead of its time. I don't know. They're kind of crazy. And then you're
Yeah.
like, wow, this model's really thought out, and when it comes to EXP, once you see the model, you can't unsee it. So you decided, okay, I'm going to make the jump. But Shirlene, what keeps you with EXP? What makes you say, I am never leaving this place?
Well, it is the way it's so well thought out. But one of the things that matters to me is support and training. So as an example, last night I got a deal come across my desk, 9:30. I look at it and I go, oh, that's weird. I don't know how I should deal with that. So I text my broker manager. She calls me right away. We go through it, done. And to have that kind of support pretty much any time of day is incredible. The training. So our manager come to our team meetings and download the newest and greatest things we need to know about. But also we have regular meetings in EXP World with the Ontario group. And I've learned so much from the different icons in EXP, all the different training. There's 50 hours of training a week. So when it's slow time, you can get a ton of training done. So, and I'm starting to lose, I can keep going and going. I'm losing my train of thought and I'm about to jump all over the place. And then obviously, if you're looking at a purely financial piece, I didn't pay my brokerage to work there the last 2 years. I actually was in the black. I made money, which is a lovely place to be. So yeah, I could go on. There's tons of reasons, but those are a few.
You're not going to meet another brokerage or company at all that is going to offer you stocks and your cap back. And that's just created a truly unique way for EXP to retain the best of the best and to really appreciate their realtors and employees and whatever else you want to call them, which is great. And Shirlene, you said that you could go off on 1,000 different paths, which is true. Every day at EXP, there's so much to get done. It's like drinking water out of a fire hose, right? Like there's a lot to do and it's in a really good way. But ultimately, how do you prevent yourself from getting overwhelmed? You're doing enough production to icon, you're really busy. So how do you prevent burnout mode for yourself?
Well, the systems that we've put in place have helped. We're very system oriented. So even though we do high volume, it is very organized, which makes it easier. And preventing burnout, I do my best to take Wednesday off, but I'm not very good at it. I love what I do, right? So when you love what you do, it's hard to like every day is a day off in a way because you love what you do. So not doing it for a day, I don't know. It doesn't always seem like it almost seems like a punishment some days. Like, what do you mean I can't just get on my phone and do what I need to do? So I'm not very good at it, but I am trying because it's not all about me as well. It's about my family. So spending time with them is important. And I do make time daily to do that, which is a huge thing. So, and being able to support my daughter in her riding career and going to the barn, that's been incredible.
Of course. Yeah, no, that's really cool, Shirlene. And, the freedom and the, being able to build your own schedule, but you love it. So you're happy to take a phone call when, it comes your way or an appointment or whatever else it is. And so that's really cool, that you found your niche and that you're happy in what you do because not a lot of people will have that opportunity in this lifetime.
Yeah.
And, it's really cool that you've found a good balance and you recharge with your daughter and horse riding and it's great. And Shirlene, I'd like to talk a little more about the Icon Award now itself because the production that you're going to have to do in Canada is going to be a little different than maybe the production somebody has to do in Los Angeles, California in the US. So like, what kind of production did you have to do to Icon in your market? We don't have to talk exact numbers because our heads will spin, but give us like a house number, right? Like general amount.
I'll say it's between 30 and 35 deals.
Okay.
On average, somewhere around there. And it would depend greatly too on what part of the country you're in. In Toronto, you'd be able to Icon much more quickly because it's a higher sales price. So we do a little more volume with the lower sales price. But yeah, so it has been surprisingly easy in this market. So I've Icon both years I've been here, which I think my favorite part of that though is the opportunity to give back to the EXP community. That's what the Icon really means to me. It's not about sales volume. It's nice to get the award, but it's about the opportunity to give back to my community as a coach. It means a lot. And then it's so incredibly valuable when you're hearing other icons talk about what makes them successful and them giving you their secrets, like the sharing that happens. I got off topic again, but there we go. I'm gushing again.
That was perfect because that was actually my next question is how you give back to EXP World, right? So you're a coach. Keep going. You're doing great.
So I teach in the EXP World in the training with regards to rural properties. So as a realtor in the rural area, I find we get a lot of realtors who trade in the area who don't really have the background to do so. So I go and help them figure out how to deal with septics and wells and shore road allowance and waterfronts and all that good stuff that happens here in the country.
Absolutely. No, that's awesome. That's a great area to focus on. Maybe it's something that's not as fun as social media to talk about, but it's just as important, if not more important, because you want to be able to supply that information to your clients. And Shirlene, when it comes to the Icon Award, what benefit have you enjoyed most? I mean, it comes with stock options. You get to go to EXPCon, shareholders, you get a nice shiny award. So, what stuck out about it to you?
Well, I haven't been physically yet to EXPCon or the shareholder summit, but I'm booked for June. So I'm excited to see what that's all about. Yeah, I have no idea. So that'll be fun to go. And it's amazing that you're essentially paid to go. So that's a nice bonus. But like I say, to have the little shiny award is also lovely, but it's the idea of giving back to the EXP community that I really, really appreciate about being an icon.
Right. And it's exciting because, you're like, you get to be the person that you needed the most when you were in somebody's shoes, right? So you said you went to a couple of different, brokerages in the beginning of your career and you're like, man, I just wasn't getting the training I needed. I had to make this jump and that jump and, that sucks. And so for you to be able to give back to the EXP world and be able to, supply these people with what they need and the training they need and crave and, thrive on, it feels good. I'm sure. That's awesome.
Yeah. I'd say it doesn't have to do with the Icon Award, but EXP's, model around teams and self-branding gave me exactly what I needed because I wanted to be that team leader. I wanted to coach people. I wanted to create a team, and they are so incredibly helpful with regards to team building. That I would say was definitely one of the deciding factors, and the self-branding. So I'm with EXP Brokerage, but I'm also known as All Points North Group. And I love that. I love that there can be some self-identity. And I'm getting off topic here again, but I was just talking about this on the weekend.
You're so funny because you're on a podcast to talk. And I think you're doing a great job at it. Some people are like, I'm talking too much. And I'm like, no, this is the point. Keep going. Keep talking.
Yes.
You're doing great. So quit
Yes.
pushing yourself.
Yeah.
You're doing awesome.
Yeah. So I was just at a trade show, the Cottage Life show, and I was chatting with people there about EXP and the support around teams is something that's incredible. And then, I considered opening my own brokerage, but here in Ontario and Canada, we have trust accounts and they terrify me because they have to be perfect all the time and they get audited. And so I really didn't want to have to go down that path. And then also the liability, the broker of record has all the liability. I have a team, but I have a broker of record who keeps the liability, and having said that, the deals admin is very particular about the deals that come in and they make you make them perfect. But it's so amazing to feel like I have my own brokerage with the team, yet I don't have those two major scary things that might prevent a lot of people from opening their own brokerage. And the cost around that.
Cost, liability, risk, all of it. It's so nice. And I love to, compare EXP to just giving you the bones, right? The bones to build your personal brand. So here's the structure. And then you get this little, these custom tools, and you can decide how big it is and what color it is and how you want to talk about it. And it's super cool. And then EXP just provides you the backbone and the support. And I think it's really cool.
Yes.
Again, I know we build avatars in the EXP world. So it's much like building your own avatar, but you're an avatar for EXP with your own personal brand. And I think it's really cool. Yeah. And then Shirlene, I'd like to kind of focus on maybe the newbies right now, right? So let's talk to anyone that maybe has just joined EXP or maybe they're just new to the real estate world, right? And they're watching this podcast and they see this big shiny icon award and they're like, man, do I shoot for that? But earlier, I referenced that EXP has a lot going on. It's like sipping water from a fire hose. There's training, there's this. You can be building a downline. You could be focusing on, being mentored by your upline. Is the Icon Award even something they should focus on in their first year? Is it even achievable in their first year? And maybe where are some spots that, you've almost failed at hitting Icon or little goals that have helped you to really achieve Icon? I guess I know, again, a loaded question, but all over the board, advice for the newbies.
So, EXP has that. So advice, plan to take a month, your first month joining EXP as a new realtor and just get in there and learn the systems, get that foundation under you. I found with my team, I gave them leverage before I got the fundamentals into them. And they were out there selling, they were running, they were like, I call them and they're in their car, they're going here, they're going there, because right now the market is super strong.
Right.
The analogy of, right now you can be a turkey in a tornado that thinks they're an eagle, because there's so much business out there that anybody can make money in real estate if you work hard.
I have not heard that analogy.
Yeah. When the tornado's gone, guess what happens to the turkey? And then the ones who know what they're doing soar off as eagles. I have to give credit to Brian Buffini for that one. I've never forgotten it when he said that. It just resonated with me. Don't be the turkey in the tornado. Make sure you know your fundamentals. Yeah. So anyways, I gave them leverage. I didn't give them the fundamentals. So now we're backing up to teach them lead gen fundamentals, but it's hard because they're busy, right? So learn that before you get in there and start selling. Take the time to do the lead gen courses in EXP. Get your sphere together, your sphere of influence, get those names into your database, start making the phone calls, learn how to lead generate, learn the systems in EXP, because when you've got those online, that's worth a personal admin to have those systems online. So I know Ontario, we use SkySlope. Like it's a genius for transaction management. So having that all in place, the tools that EXP gives you before you get running the roads and so busy it's hard to learn, I think is incredible. And then, just have fun. Go have coffee with your friends. Tell them why you're taking them for coffee. Say, you know what, I'm a realtor now. I want to take you to coffee and I want to talk real estate. Will you come to coffee with me? And you need to let everybody know you're a realtor. Everybody in the world. Does that sound good?
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's great.
What else
Everybody
can I
that
say?
always lean into those warm leads, take your friends out, because then your friends, coworkers, like, oh man, like I'm getting ready to sell my house. I'm getting ready to buy a house. Oh, well, let me introduce you to my friend. Even this weekend, I was like, yeah, like I'm getting ready to buy a house. And, everybody that saw that on my Facebook was like, I know a realtor. Do you want one?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. I'm gonna try.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to be my own realtor, but I'm glad everybody is so eager to let me know they've got a realtor friend, because that's how it works. And whoever those people are, they're doing a really good job of making sure that they're top of mind. And that's great advice, Shirlene. And coming up on my final question, we kind of talked off camera earlier about how the thing I hear most about EXP is I wish I had made the jump sooner.
Oh,
And
yeah.
you had heard about EXP a couple years before you made the jump. And I like to ask, what would you say to somebody sitting on the ledge right now? But instead, Shirlene, I want to switch it up, and I want to ask what you would go back and tell yourself, take yourself to coffee 4 years ago, and have a talk. What would you say to yourself to make the jump, to come over to EXP, or not? I guess, I don't know.
I actually think about a time machine and getting in. Like if I had have gotten in 2 years earlier with the stocks that I have, I would be $5 million in the black more, right? Because it was penny stocks at the time. And I listened, like I searched up EXP, and there were a lot of haters about, oh, they're just penny stocks. It's not real stock, that sort of thing. And so it really made me question it. I would have told myself, seek it out before it was even shown to you and get in like right at the bottom. But you know what? You can't focus on that. You can't look back. I got in when I got in. I am still doing really well, way better than I was doing with my previous brokerage. So there's never a perfect time. Just do it. Right? There's never a perfect time to change. Yes, it takes some organization, and a lot of it we didn't know until we got into it. And you know what? You make the change, it makes you better. Everything that we did has made us better. So there's a little bit of a growing pain, but there's a way bigger plus once you get it done. So I would say just do it. Like I haven't looked back. I couldn't be happier here. It is, of all the brokerages I've been at, this one I find the most fulfilling, partly because I get to create it, right? We get to create our team, and I get to lead the team the way I feel is best for the team. We have a ton of input by our teammates, and it just get out there and do it. EXP uses the analogy, or at least in Ontario, we build the plane as we fly it. And I realize that's what every big company does. They're forever pivoting and changing as they need to. So you know what? You'll be the pilot of your own plane, and you will build it as you fly it, and you will make it great. And EXP gives you all the tools you need to do that.
Absolutely. Shirlene, thank you so much for sharing your incredible story today. I think that this has been a fantastic episode. We're coming up on 25 minutes, and you're encouraging, you're telling people to make the jump, you're a coach, you build those foundations, scale up on the bones that are provided to you. Is there anything else that you would like to leave the listeners with as we wrap up here in the next minute?
Just take the leap. Call back the person that introduced you to EXP. and really listen and ask other people. That's the other cool thing is you can call any EXP agent and they're going to share their story with you, even if they're not the sponsor. And yes, so one thing I'll address is we do have the revenue share portion of it. It's not something I focus on. I'm actually an agent who really focuses on trading, and I just let the attraction happen. So if somebody's interested in EXP, they can come and talk to me. You know, I help coach them through things. But it is another revenue model for EXP. It is not, there's a nasty word they say. I don't even know if I want to say it. It's not a pyramid scheme.
No,
that's
they
what
call
some...
it a cult.
A what?
A cult and a pyramid scheme and everything else. EXP?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's basically just flipping the brokerage model upside down so that the money flows to the agents instead of up to corporate is what it is. So,
yeah.
So
I guess
so
you're
be
right.
open-minded about that, and you don't have to do it, and it makes no difference because I have done my wealth and my, you know, not paying the brokerage to work there had nothing that doesn't take into account anything that the agent attraction would have gotten me. That's purely when I was speaking purely as a working agent. So the agent attraction stuff is a bonus, helps with my daughter's riding. And so do the stocks. I mean, the 10% we take 5% of our commission and we buy the stocks at a 10% discount. So I immediately have equity there. And that's also something that's helped me pay for my daughter's riding career. So yeah, we could be here all day.
The opportunities are endless at EXP. And you know, call the person that introduced you to EXP.
Yeah.
And heck, if you don't like them, call Shirlene. Call anybody on this podcast.
I'll coach you. I love coaching. I love being a mentor.
And we live in a metaverse.
It brings me joy. It brings me joy. It
doesn't matter if you live in Florida or Alaska or New York. Call Shirlene in Ontario and she can, you know, be your accountability buddy. She can coach you.
Exactly. Inspiration. I will be the inspiration.
Yes. Yes. And being around people that love what they do, it's infectious and in the best way. And Shirlene, you know, I'm really excited to see you at Shareholders coming up in June.
Oh, are you going to be there?
I'll be there.
Okay,
so plan on me hunting you down and picking your brain. And for now, I think that this was an awesome episode. And I can't wait to talk to you again soon.
Awesome. We'll see you in June.
Sounds good to me, Shirlene. Bye-bye.
Okay. Take care. Bye-bye.
This Icon podcast is hosted and sponsored by Sphere Rocket Virtual Assistants, a leading provider for your virtual assistants and outsourcing needs. Owned by one of the top-ranking EXP agents, Justin Nelson. Sphere Rocket VA provides a one-stop virtual staffing solution for business owners, and we specialize in helping business owners grow their business by leveraging through virtual assistants. Trusted by the top names in the real estate industry like Kyle Whistle, Andrew Franklin, John Kitchens, and many more. Get ready to up your success and we'll help you achieve your business goals. Book your free consultation at sphererocketva.com and find out how we can make your life easier.